Why is Europe suddenly calling India its most trusted partner? Why is the world's most sophisticated trading bloc, the one that used to lecture us on everything from labor laws to carbon taxes, suddenly rushing to sign on the dotted line? Because for decades, the India EU FTA was a ghost, a series of failed rounds and mutual disagreements. But today, the silence has been replaced by 7 historic agreements. The narrative has shifted. This is not Europe choosing India. This is Europe needing India. Hello and welcome to the Narrative Now. I am Sudhanshu Sharma. But before we credit diplomacy, we have to send a very special, very sarcastic thank you to the 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for making Europe realize that their transatlantic alliance is built on shifting sands. Whether it was his childish rhetoric about Canada being the 51st state, his bizarre attempt to buy Greenland, and subsequent bullying of Denmark, or his relentless weaponization of tariffs, Trump did what no Indian diplomat could. He terrified Europe. He showed Brussels that America is not a partner, it is a landlord. And when the landlord gets moody, the tenant gets evicted. Europe realized that it could not survive on US unpredictability or China's dominance, that it needed a stable, sovereign, and massive democratic anchor. It needed India. Donald Trump did not just break the West, he accelerated the rise of the rest. So, what is in it for them? Let's be blunt. Europe is aging, stagnating, and scared. They need access to 1.4 billion consumers who are actually buying things. They need to diversify away from the China risk without falling into the US trap. India is not just a market anymore. We are the manufacturing base and the tech innovation hub that provides a democratic hedge in the Indo Pacific. From green hydrogen to high end chips, the European Union has realized that if they are not in India, they are not in the future. But here is the difference. This time, India negotiated as an equal. We did not surrender our sovereignty for a few export quotas. We secured technology transfers. We opened the blue card talent pipelines for our skilled professionals. We ensured that Indian labor and Indian environment standards are decided in New Delhi, not in Brussels. Did you see the EU naval forces marching on Kartavya Path during the Republic Day parade? That is not just optics, that is a massive strategic shift. For the first time, Europe is admitting that its economic survival depends on the Indian Navy securing the maritime trade routes of the Indo-Pacific. The India-European Union Security and Defense Partnership is no longer a footnote, it is the foundation. That strategic trust is not built on flowery speeches, on shared steel and salt water. Now, let us talk about the elephant in the room. With the BRICS momentum growing and the global south tired of US financial weaponization, this free trade agreement goes beyond mere trade. We are looking at local currency trade mechanisms. Euro rupee settlements are no longer a conspiracy theory, they are a strategic necessity. When India and Europe hedge against the dollar, the global financial architecture does not just crack, it transforms. This is about financial sovereignty. This is about ensuring that a tweet from Washington cannot tank the Indian economy. But how did we get here? Well, 2 words: strategic patience. Prime Minister Narendra Modi did not rush into this deal. He did not sign a weak deal in 2015 or in 2019 just for a headline. He waited, he built, he executed. He let the world's contradictions play out. He let Europe realize its own vulnerability. And this is the hallmark of the Modi doctrine. Negotiate from a position of strength or do not negotiate at all. As we march towards a Viksit Bharat by 2047, this free trade agreement is not just a trade deal, it is a certificate of India's emergence as a pole in a multipolar world. era of the West giving us access is over. Today, we are the axis. Today, India did not enter Europe's system. Europe adjusted to India's rise. That, my friends, is the narrative now. Jai Hind!